Okay, Steve, thanks for joining us. I've come up in the control room today. It's such a nice day outside. I thought I'd like to look across the pitch. It's a lovely view.
I thought someone had broken in, mate, and written on your wall. But anyway, not to worry.
No, lots of signatures on the wall behind me from lots of history there.
Yeah.
So we'll look back at the Beaconsfield Town result. A game I didn't see much of. I was actually in the VIP area chatting to sponsors. We had the full boxes full of sponsors, which went very well. But some said I was lucky not to get to see too much of it. But I'll let you tell me the tale.
Well, I mean, it was with all due respect, the conditions and the trying to play pitch was difficult and the conditions were horrendous. So it doesn't matter who you are, anybody trying to play in those conditions will struggle. We there's no doubt we've done enough to go ahead. At half time, we've had Joshua's had two fantastic opportunities. We hit the bar twice, and that's the difference in these games at this stage. Where if you score at that stage, then the game is completely different, and they've got to come out. And to be fair, at half time, you're looking at thinking this will be interesting second half how we react, because obviously there was a little bit of disappointment in the dressing room that we hadn't gone ahead. And then, of course, we do the usual. We concede straight after half time, and then we concede to what was a little bit of an unlucky deflection, should I say. Could have gone anywhere and goes in the top corner. So we're up against it. But we made a couple of changes. Devon came on, made a huge difference to the game. To even Calvin going at right back gave us so much more down that right-hand side. So it was definitely food for thought. We finished off okay. We should have got something out of the game. We had a plethora of chances at the end. And there were one or two bright spots. I say Devon coming on and really did help to change the game in our favour. And I think to be fair, at this stage, the side is what it is. There's not an awful lot that we can do about what's happening. It's only a very small squad now, obviously, with regard to the injuries and the players that have left over the last couple of weeks. So we'll have a look at, certainly have a look at how the game went. I've already watched the video, and we'll have a look at going into the game on Saturday and seeing who we start with. I mean, as I say, I mentioned Devon. I thought he played really well. People will say, well, why didn't he start? The reason he didn't start is because, by his own admission, he doesn't. He's not confident playing up there on his own. And the way that we have been playing with the three in midfield means that you would play normally with a player up there on his own. But I'm not sure, in all honesty, that Joshua can do that role on his own either. So with Fitch, with obviously Marv, with certainly with Sam, they can play that role. So it was. It's always a tough choice. We'll have a look at it Saturday. See if if we go two up front, it means that we can't play three in midfield. And if we go to three in midfield, then we've got to play three at the back. And at this stage, the lads that we have available aren't overly confident in playing the three at the back. So, and I don't think it really suits us. So it's a mix and make do sort of side. I'm sure people understand that at this stage. And we'll keep going to the best of our ability. As I say, we've got, I think we've got Sam Ashton's going to a specialist this week. Marv, also going to a specialist to see about his ACL, which we're hoping is not really serious. Dan Fitchett trained on Wednesday and damaged his ligaments in his ankle, which was just an absolute nightmare. Calv pulled out in training. Sam Roberts pulled out in training. Shawnee's having an operation. So it's, we're just a little bit up against it. Obviously, Balbaghi's back is struggling. So we'll see what we've got available and where we go for Saturday. But it is very much a case of, just mixing and make do at this stage. Hopefully we might get one player in between now and then. And we'll just see where it takes us. But it's been difficult, and it continues to be difficult. There's no doubt about that.
Assistant manager Callum Hart came into the office yesterday. He was telling me about 3 injuries at training. So we had Fitchett, we had Calvin, and we had Harty's windscreen, I believe.
Well, I don't quite know what to say. I mean, yes, Charlie Davis has hit probably. Well, I hasten to add, I think the way that the lads were shooting the other night, I think, there's a few other cars who've actually got away with it, because there was an absolute multitude of balls going over the top of the fence because the lads couldn't hit their volleys properly. And Charlie Davis obviously hit it out the ground, and it's gone at Harty's windscreen and smashed his windscreen, mate. So, we couldn't happen to a nicer man. There's no doubt about that. And, what comes around goes around. But no, it was, in all seriousness, it was, it wasn't great for him. And I think just about, as I say,
he was smiling about it in the end yesterday. He's obviously not happy because he's not got a car at the minute. But
that's the one thing, like you say, he hasn't got a car. So he needs to rectify that. But it was, I think it just about, as I say, it just sums everything up in a nutshell, really.
So we look ahead to Hendon this Saturday. As you say, we're going to have to make do and cobble together what we can.
Yeah, I mean, they're in and around where we are. I spoke to their manager. He's got a few injuries himself. Clubs like Hendon and ourselves with not a huge amount to play for apart from pride. Won't be, they're not going to start splashing out on players. They'll cut their cloth accordingly, and then really just take it from there. And I think they're pretty much in a similar situation to ourselves. So, it's a game that we'll go, and we'll as ever, we'll do our best. We'll try our hardest, and see where it takes us. And I think it's a learning process now for everybody between now and the end of the season, as to who's going to be good enough, what's going to be good enough for next season.
Excellent. Well, that's all I've got for you. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yep, thanks very much, and I'll see you Saturday, mate.
Yeah, will do. Cheers, and Steve.
All right, you're gonna pick Harty up at Dummer, I think, aren't you? If he can get there, I think he's getting the bus and the train to Dummer, and then we're picking him up from there, aren't we? So that's all good news anyway. As long as he's all right, mate. You know what it's like.
He'll get that. He's all right. He's all right. He had a smile on his face this morning. He's good.
All right, mate.
Cheers, then.
Bye.
Thanks.